Let us start. Let us chant Omkara together and start the session. You can chant along with me. Om. 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 Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Guru Brahma,
Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Devo,
Guru Devo,
Maheshwaraha,
Maheshwaraha,
Guru Sakshat,
Guru Sakshat,
Parabrahma,
Parabrahma,
Tasmai Shri,
Tasmai Shri,
Gurave Namaha.
Gurave Namaha.
Shruti Smriti,
Shruti Smriti,
Purananam,
Purananam,
Alayam,
Alayam,
Karunalayam,
Karunalayam,
Mami,
Mami,
Bhagatpadam,
Bhavatpadam,
Shankaram,
Shankaram,
Lokashankaram.
Mokashankaram.
My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes. I welcome all of you to this auspicious Gita Gnana Yagna. So the Gita Gnana Yagna that we are starting today is part of something called as Rishi Yagna. So there are many pujas, festivals, havans, homas, uh, tirthayatras, right? So many activities. All activities that probably bring some divine connection and uplift us. Of all of them, Rishi Yagna is considered the highest, and Gita Gnana Yagna is considered one of the highest Rishi Yagna, or it's also called as Brahma Yagna, which brings you the realization of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, okay, and the realization of Sri Krishna. What this realization is, what is Sri Krishna, what is Rishi Yagna, we'll slowly understand. And so participating in this Rishi Yagna. So what is the benefit of participating in a Rishi Yagna? The benefit of participating in the Rishi Yagna is it brings the highest aspiration of or fulfillment of human life, which is called as moksha, mukti, or liberation. That is its focus, and that is the benefit, and that is the blessing. So as we start, I bow down to my Sadguru and Jagat Guru, Sri Krishna Paramatma, to bless all of those who are participating with health, wealth, prosperity, bhukti, mukti, param shanti, and absolute freedom. With that, we'll start the Gita Gnana Yagna. The focus of Sanatan Dharma or the Bhagavad Gita is liberation, mukti. So, what is this mukti? Let us understand that first. And like I told, there'll be various sections. The first section of today's session is the goal of the Gita, which is mukti. Okay, then we'll go to the next session, which is what is the Gita. Then the third section. So, first section is mukti. Second section is the Gita, which is part of the Mahabharata. So I'll give you an overview of where it stands in the Mahabharata and why is it relevant and what is its context. Mukti, Mahabharata, and the third section is third M. So Mukti is M, Mahabharata is M, and the third M is me, which is you, what you call as me, and how is it relevant to you. Okay, and the fourth M is meditation. So we'll sit for meditation for some time. The first topic to understand is what is mukti. There was a man who's very frustrated in life, very stressed. Every day is just fight and flight, struggle. Okay, no matter what he does, it's painful, suffering. Body's breaking down. As he's growing older, the body's breaking down. The mind is becoming more and more disturbed. And the world that he is living in, the city that he's living in, is full of noise and turmoil. Okay, every day is getting harder. So he decides, I want to get away from all of this. I want freedom. I want peace. I want maybe enlightenment. But he knows nothing of this. And he was only heard stories where in some story he has read that, okay, there are people who have gone to the mountains and they have attained something. Okay. And that's why everybody goes to them and bows down. So I'll also go to the mountain, make my journey to the mountain. And the first thing that I have to do is drop what I currently have. So I have to get disassociated with what I am, where I am, leave everything, go to the mountain and find that which will solve all my problems. So he leaves everything. He leaves his wife and his children, and he just packs something and he makes to start his journey to the mountain. On the way to the mountain, you can see the mountain there. He comes across a river which he's not able to cross. He's not able to see a way to cross the river. There's no means to cross the river. There on the other side, he sees a man, a very old man. And he shouts out to him, hey, old man, can you tell me how do I get onto the other side? I want to cross. I want to get onto the other side. The old man gets puzzled. He's confused. He looks at this guy and he looks both ways. Then he tells to this young man, you are on the other side. Okay. The moment this person hears this, it is said that he got liberated, he got enlightened, and he went back home to his family. Okay. He didn't go to the mountain. He didn't get any, he didn't do any practice. He just heard from the old man, what is the sentence? You are already on the other side. In Sanatana Dharma, or in the language of the Vedas, Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, this statement can be converted as Tat Tvam Asi. Meaning, you are that. What is that? You are that supreme reality, what you call as God, what you call as consciousness, whatever you call as divine. You are that. So the Bhagavad Gita class, if anybody wants to drop off now, you can drop off. This is the ultimate message, Tattvamasi. The entire 18th chapter is an explanation of this Tattvamasi. How you are that. So there are 18 chapters. The first six chapters are about Tvam, about you. The next six chapters are about Tat, which is called as Brahman or supreme reality. You can call it as Shiva or Brahman or Narayana, whatever name you give that to that absolute reality. And the last six chapters are about Asi, how you both are one and the same. So it's an equation. Tat, Tvam, Asi. You are that. You don't know about it, that's a different problem. Okay? I don't feel like that, that's a different problem. I don't know that, that's a different problem. I don't realize that, that's a different problem. But the message, the final message of all the Shastras, all the Gitas, there are many Gitas. Bhagavad Gita is one of the Gita. There are many Gitas. And in this case, Bhagavad Gita is a summary. Sri Krishna Paramatma is summarizing the Upanishads. So there are over 100 Upanishads. Okay? And the Upanishads form the last section of the Vedas. So there are 4 Vedas. Okay? And the 4 Vedas have 3 sections. One is called Karma Kanda, second is called Upasana Kanda, and third is called Gnana Kanda. The Gnana Kanda is the Upanishad. And the essence of all Upanishad is the Bhagavad Gita. And the summary of all of these texts is Tattvamasi. Is that you are not what you think you are. You are that supreme reality. And the journey is to realize that. Okay? And this journey is also not your typical journey. Like the journey of this man, it started before it ended before it even started. Okay? In his mind, he has a journey. Oh my God, I have to go to the mountain. And God knows who I have to meet there and what I have to practice. Maybe on the way to the mountain, he's imagining so many things. How his next 10 years will be, how his 20 years will be, how he'll come back enlightened, and how everybody will bow down to him. All he's imagining. But all of that gets wiped clean when he just listens to the simple truth that he's on the other side already. And this teaching of you are that is called the direct path. So there are 2 paths to realize God. One is called a direct path, and the other is called indirect path. So the example I can give is for all the people who are traveling can relate to this better. So somebody is going from point A to point B. So let's say I'm in Bangalore. I want to go to Mysore. Okay. So there is a starting point and there's an end point. And there is a pathway. I can take the train, I can take the road, I can hitchhike, I can walk, I can cycle. There are multiple paths. Okay. Now, what if the journey is to space? If I have to get from Bangalore to Mysore, there is some idea of a journey, this pathway and means and medium. But what if I want to travel to space? There is no point A and point B because I am in space. Where I am is space. Where I go is space. Where I don't go is space. Okay? So whenever you say I have to make a journey in space, it's meaningless because you are where you want to go. You are in space. So that is the approach. This is called the direct path. The direct path is, the teaching is, or the realization is what the Upanishads are. So what are the Upanishads? Upanishads are basically a dialogue between somebody who has already realized the highest reality, that statement, Tattvamasi, That person has realized it. And this person is having a dialogue with somebody who's asking, I want to become that. Now, what will the master tell? And the person who has realized is typically called a master, a guru, or a sadguru. And they are given the highest place in Sanatana Dharma for the reason that Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Because here is a human being, an ordinary human being, who has realized this statement, I am that. Okay? And not only realized it himself or herself, has also the skill and the ability to illumine that same truth in you by having a dialogue. Okay? And this process of dialogue, this process of inquiry with a master who has realized, is called the direct path. It is also called as the path of Jnana, Jnana Marga. Okay? Or Vichara Marga. Marga means path. So in that sense, Jnana Marga is, you can compare it with the intention of traveling in space. It is not a Marga because you are already at the destination. Okay, there's no more movement. You just listen to the truth, you understand it, and you're free. Is it that simple? Yes, because there's nothing more than that. And that is what is called Upanishad. The word Upanishad means, Upa means higher. Nishad means to sit near. To sit near, beside, amongst somebody who is Upa, who is already realized, and that person uplifts you. That is what is Upanishad. And there are many Upanishads. There are 108 popular Upanishads. Out of them, specifically, there are 10 major Upanishads, 10, 11 major Upanishads. And the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Upanishads, where Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is giving the message of Tattvamasi to Arjuna on the battlefield. Okay? And to realize, I am that supreme reality, is called liberation or mukti. So what is it mukti from? It is a mukti from all suffering. Okay? Now, when you become free from suffering, no. You realize that there is the notion of suffering itself is not there, it's ignorance. So then will I become free from all desires? Will all my desires become fulfilled? No, you realize that you are desireless. Okay, desire, and you don't have any connection. Then will I become happy? Ultimately, what matters to me is, will I become happy? Will I become blissful? No. You will realize your nature is bliss. You are that bliss that you seek. Okay? And realizing this brings a deep sense of fulfillment, peace, which is called Param Shanti. Okay? Now, there is peace on one end, Param Shanti on one end, and then there's war. Bhagavad Gita is in the context of war. Okay? War is very well known to all of us. Very well known. We're very close to war. Every day, some or the other type of war, either war at home or war outside, war at large, inner war, all sorts of war, war in the office, war in the boardroom, war on the WhatsApp groups, war in the comment section. War is something that you do not know. You know it very well. Peace is something that keeps escaping. Okay? Deep inner peace is something what every human being seeks. And in that sense, every human being is seeking the supreme. Okay? And what is that supreme? It's your own self, inner self. And meeting your own inner self is the journey, but it's not a journey because you are already that. Something is covering that. That's all. That is the problem. That covering needs to be removed. And that is called the direct path or the Gnana marg. Now, there is another path, which is indirect path, which is typically the path of doing. It is the path of going to the mountain. Okay. Fortunately for this person, he did not need to go, but it might so happen that this person does not meet the old man and he does go to the mountain and he does a lot of work for a lot of years and he doesn't go to the end. He doesn't attain peace, but ultimately all that struggle leads him back to the old man. Okay, so there are many indirect paths. The path of maybe devotion, the path of yoga, the path of action, the path of reading something, the path of doing something, the path of going somewhere, doing some service. Anything that involves you doing something is called indirect path. Okay, and the end result or fulfillment of the indirect path is it takes you to the direct path. That's all it can do at best. It cannot take you to the end. It can take you to the direct path, which is where you will be prepared enough to listen to the direct teaching. Okay. So direct path, indirect path, and the end focus of both these paths is mukti. Now, why doesn't the indirect path give me liberation? Okay. There are two journeys, direct journey, indirect journey. The direct journey takes me to the end, help me realize this and become free, but the indirect one doesn't. Why is that? Because the direct one starts with the right, it's called the right approach. It's a top-down approach, wherein the statement is, you are that. You are already that. If you think you're something else, we can correct that. Okay, we are not discussing to make you that. We're having a discussion to help you realize that you're already that. Okay, that is the premise or approach of the direct path. In the indirect path, the premise is you are not that. The foundation is, the starting point is you are not that. Maybe we don't know if you will become that, but we can try. Okay. Now, when the foundation itself is wrong, when the assumption that you made, the starting point itself is wrong, whatever you build upon it will collapse because it is false. So any action that you take in the indirect path, the premise is, I am here, God is there, I have to reach there. Okay. And this reaching has a time and space and distance and action. Okay. In the direct path, God alone is there and I am not there. This is the different approaches. So the premise on the direct path is the message of the language that the Upanishads and the Gita speak is Lord alone is real. You don't exist. I am not, Lord alone is. Okay. In the indirect path, I am there, Lord is there. Okay. And we have to meet somewhere. So it's like telling, I am in space. Now, how do I get to space? Space alone is everywhere. It encompasses you as well. Your body also is filled with space. Even within the body, even at the atomic level, there's space. So you being separate from space is impossible. In the same way, Lord and you being two separate things or entities is impossible. It is only an error in thinking. Now, that error in thinking can be corrected. And it's corrected in the direct path. In the indirect path, that error in thinking gets reinforced. Okay, because whatever I'm doing, it's somehow making my notion as a doer, thinker, and individual stronger. So in that way, I'd get farther away from God. But fortunately, that indirect path also leads ultimately to the direct path, which brings the realization that I am that. So the message of the Bhagavad Gita is Tat Tvam Asi. And realizing I am that is called Mukti. And realization and becoming a Mukta, of somebody who realizes I am that, he or she attains deep peace, clarity, deep inner silence, and becomes free from suffering. So this is the approach of the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. Any doubts so far? Direct and indirect paths?
Yes,
clear?
one doubt. I think you mentioned that Tattvam Asi made me feel that I am God. And then just now you mentioned that the direct path is actually that God is true and I'm false. So how can I be false if I am that?
We'll come to that. So all these
Okay.
questions is something that we will answer to understand what is Tat, what is Tvam, and what is Asi. As we go through the chapters and as we go through the different sections, we'll understand all of this one by one. Okay. Now, the Bhagavad Gita comes as a part of the Mahabharata. Mahabharata is the great epic. It is also known as history. In India, there are two histories given. There are two recording of histories. They're called Itihasa. And one is Ramayana and the other is Mahabharata. And in the Mahabharata is written by Vyasa Maharshi, a sage called Vyasa Maharshi. And what is the Mahabharata? Mahabharata is the great epic which talks about or contains within it all the possible human profiles. Okay, all possibilities of the human mind. It is said that all the characters in the Mahabharata represents all possible human beings. So you will not find a character in the world which is not there in the Mahabharata. And the Mahabharata is a great war. So we have heard of World War I, World War II. But the actual world war that happened was the Mahabharata. This was 5,000 years ago. And what happened in this world war? There were two armies, the army of the Pandavas and the army of the Kauravas. And how big were these armies? The Pandava army is 7 akshonis. Okay, akshoni is a unit of measure, which constitutes of foot soldiers, soldiers on horses, soldiers on elephants, okay, chariots, and the Kauravas is 14 akshonis. Sorry, 11 akshonis. So 11 plus 7, to totally 18 akshonis. Now 18 akshonis put together were how many people on the battlefield? It was almost 40 lakh. That is 4 million people. So 4 million soldiers fighting in the battlefield for 18 days. And by the end of the war, almost that 40 lakh were wiped out, were dead. Okay, were killed in the war. Such a massive war. And in the context of this war, this particular war, at the beginning of this war is when Sri Krishna has a conversation with Arjuna when Arjuna is unable to proceed with fighting the war. And then Sri Krishna Bhagavan teaches Arjuna, or rather has a dialogue with Arjuna and transforms him, energizes him, motivates him, inspires him in such a way that in 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, Arjuna is filled with enthusiasm, energy, inspiration, courage, now to fight the battlefield. Now to fight the battle. So it is said that many psychologists, the ones at the top of their game, psychiatrists and psychologists, in honor of the Gita, they have a picture of the Gita in their office, in their clinic. Why is Sri Krishna bowed down to as the greatest psychologist or a mental healer of the mind? Is because in 30 minutes, it's unimaginable to take somebody so depressed, suicidal, okay, escapist, and just by having a dialogue with them, fill them with such enthusiasm, courage, focus, and clarity, and lead him to win the war. Okay, that's almost an impossibility, which Bhagavan Sri Krishna does through the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita heals the mind that is distraught and transforms the mind and uplifts the mind. So why should I study the Bhagavad Gita? Why should we study the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is not a text. It's not a text to run away from life. It is a text that inspires, or rather, it illumines the truth that I am that, fills you with the clarity, energy, enthusiasm, and makes you successful. So the Gita does a lot of things in its approach, but in the sessions that we are going to take, we are going to go through the summaries. The approach we'll take is about understanding, staying true to understanding the statement, I am that. Okay? Our focus is, how do I realize who I am? And what happens because of this realization is also what we'll cover. But our main focus is this statement, Tattvamasi, which seems to be the message of all the scriptures. Do you all celebrate birthdays?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in the birthday, people usually sing a song, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So all of you were born on a particular day, and that day you celebrate as a birthday. Now, when you were born, how many people were born?
Thousands of people.
Thousands of people. Okay, not in the world, with you. When you are born, the process of birth is that there is one cell given from the father and one cell given from the mother. Okay, so what is the contribution of your father and mother? One cell, nothing more than that. Correct? That one cell become trillions of cells. So what is the contribution of your parents, whoever what we call as my father, my mother, that those individuals' contribution is one cell to create my body. Who did the rest of the trillion cells? Did your biological father, mother do the rest of the trillion cells? That who did the rest of the trillion cells is a divine intelligence. And the divine intelligence is called Shakti. It is intelligent enough to know how to make the two cells into a being, into a body. It knows precisely how the organs of the body needs to function. It knows precisely where the eye should come, where the nose should come, how to make the heart beat, how to excrete, okay, how to sustain and make this body survive, how to digest. All of this is known by, or is taken care by, this intelligence, what I'll call as Shakti. Okay. Now, the Shakti is the intelligence that operates the body. But there is another aspect which I'll call as Shiva, which is called as consciousness, which is a life, which brings life to the body, okay, which animates the body. So Shiva and Shakti took care of the other trillion, rather practically the trillion other cells throughout your life, which means that in reality, you are the child of whom? The one who gave two cells, or the one who did trillion cells? And the two cells also came from another body, which is taken care by Shiva and Shakti. So who is your father and mother? In reality, your real father and mother is Shiva and Shakti. And that's why in India, the child is called as Amritasya Putraha, meaning you are the divine child. And because you're a divine child, as a child, because the divine created you, the creator gives a warranty, right? Whenever you buy something, you get a warranty. The maker gives you a warranty. If it's for a phone or whatever device you buy, 1 year warranty, 2 year warranty, whatever warranty. What warranty does the divine child come with? Is a warranty of bliss. The child is in bliss. When the child is born, it is in bliss. It doesn't know suffering. Okay? Its inherent nature is bliss. It might cry if it falls, if it gets hurt, it might cry, but it is free from any suffering. It is in bliss, always in bliss. 24 hours, it's in bliss. That is a warranty and promise of the divine parents. Okay? So the body is because of your biological. So there was a biological child. Okay? Then there was a divine child, which is in bliss. How many children over already? 2 children. So when you were born, there were 2 children born. One was a divine child, and then there's a biological child. Is the biological child still there? It's not there. That biological child that was there, this much, now it's completely transformed. And when it's transformed, every day it transformed, it changed. It changed so much over the years that biological child which was born 20, 30, 40 years ago does not exist anymore. Okay? Is the divine child still there?
Yes.
It is. Okay, that is a question. Because do you feel blissful right now? Somewhere, the bliss is lost. And how the bliss is lost is because there's another child born. The third child. This third child is the problem. It's the problem child. This third child, the biological child parents is father and mother. Okay, and what did the father and mother give? They gave you the biology, the genes and everything. The genes didn't come from Shiva Shakti. The genes came from your father and mother. So if the father has a certain characteristics, mother has a certain character, the baby has a certain characteristics. That's the biology. And at best, what can happen to the biological child? It can become hungry, it can fall down, it can walk, it can run, right? It's limited to the body. The divine child is blissful. He or she was always in bliss until another child took birth. The third child, the problem child, which is given birth by the society. Okay? This divine child was there sitting peacefully in its own bliss. And the society came and told, you're a boy or you're a girl. Okay? So have you seen the movie Inception? Everybody seen the movie Inception? How many of you have seen? Raise your hand. Okay. Manish, have you watched Inception? Are you there, Manish?
Yeah, I'm here. I have not watched.
You've not watched. Okay. So everybody homework for the next class. Watch Inception. Who have not watched. So in the movie Inception, there are two concepts. The concept is the people through technology, they can enter into another person's mind, okay, and extract data in their dream. So they enter the dream of the other person and they extract data from their dream. That's called extraction. One first process. So somebody has a lot of money in the bank and they have the PIN number. It is kept in their mind, deep in the mind. So this person is able to go into the dream of that person, take out that PIN number and come out. Okay. There is another second concept which they try out in the movie. It's called inception, meaning you don't take out, but you rather put in. Okay. So they enter the subconscious of the other person and they implant an idea which makes this person think it's his own idea. So why did they use it? There's a very rich billionaire. They want to implant an idea for him to shut down his company so that his competitor becomes the global leader. So these people go into the subconscious of this person, the billionaire, and they implant an idea to shut down his company and make him feel that he has that thought. Okay. Now that is exactly what was done to you when you were young. So the society, through various the child interacts with the world, and the child is pure. It's a clean slate. It has when it's blissful, it has no notion, I am a man, I am a woman. Okay, it is running around naked. Okay, it has no ideas of what is good, what is bad, what is pure, what is impure. Okay, now what is the purity of a child? What is the innocence of the child? That is the innocence of God. That is why children are God. Why? Because they're innocent. There's a beautiful story in the life of Akbar. In the story of Akbar, Birbal, Birbal asked a question. Sorry, Akbar asked the question, what is innocence? Birbal tells, if I kick you, what will you do? Akbar tells, I will cut your leg in so many pieces that you can't even count. Okay, Maharaj, what if your grandson kicks you? If he kicks me, I will adorn his feet with gold. Why you're adorning his feet with gold? Both of us are kicking. But you're cutting my feet and adorning his feet with gold. Why? Because the child is innocent. It doesn't have a sense of doership. It doesn't have a sense of duality. Okay? A child is that pure. Now in that child, inception starts happening. What is the first inception? Your name. There's a name programmed to you. You're first of all a nameless being. Without name also you existed. That means you don't need a name. Okay, but for some transactions, some name is implanted. Okay, then a gender is implanted. Okay, then various notions of people, how you should behave, what you should do, what you should not do, how you should think, what you should not think, what is religion, what is God. Okay, all those things start getting into the subconscious of the child. Then the third child is born, a problem child which is filled with suffering and problem. And that child is called a society child. Now, the divine child has no problems. The divine child is bliss. Biological child has physical problems, which is okay. The real problem, the suffering, the one who suffers because of comparison, because of self-doubt, because of noise in the head, because of lack of clarity, feeling of incompleteness, because of thousands of desires, wanting to have everything that it sees, is the society child. So the Bhagavad Gita, now Arjuna has become the society child. When he's crying on the battlefield, who's crying? Divine child is not crying. Biological child is not crying. Who's crying?
Social side.
The society child is crying. Okay, he is filled with distorting notions of what he should do, what he should not do. Okay, what is right, what is wrong, what is dharma, what is adharma. He's completely confused. And it is very significant that his confusion should be resolved, because there is over 1,000 years ago, 1100 AD, there was a king called Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, during the time of Prithviraj Chauhan, India was in its glorious times. Okay, it was obviously the most richest country in the world. From 1st century AD to 17th century AD, India was the richest country in the world. Okay, India was in its glory. It was called, it had so much gold, beautiful temples, education systems, okay, universities, trade, art, music. Unimaginable, what was unimaginable for the world was happening in India. It was very futuristic at that time. At that time, there was a king called Prithviraj Chauhan who was ruling in 1100 AD. In his time, there was one ruler, foreign ruler, who wanted to invade, Muhammad Ghazni. He fought a war with Prithviraj. Prithviraj won the war. He defeated him badly. He won the war. And he let him go. Okay, he let him go because it was adharma to kill a person who is running away. Ghazni was let go. Now Ghazni, he came back again. He formed alliances and came back with a bigger army. He defeated Prithviraj Chauhan this time, but he didn't share the same compassion. He blinded Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, and from then, at that moment, started the downfall. The decision that Prithviraj made, I would say, impacted the future of the country for a few hundred years, over 1,000 years actually. Okay, that means his notion of what is dharma, what is adharma, had an impact on the country for hundreds of years. Now the same thing is going to happen to Arjuna. Okay, and this happened over 5,000 years ago, when Arjuna has the same dilemma: what is right, what is wrong, simply because he doesn't know, who am I? Okay, and that correction that Krishna brings, which Krishna bought over 5,000 years ago, set a very different motion for the country until the time of Prithviraj. So that's over a few thousand years of peace, because Krishna was there present, unlike in case of Prithviraj. Okay, so what is dharma? What is adharma? To know also is difficult. Why is it difficult? Because predominantly what comes in your head is the voice of which child? Society. And what does society child speak?
Whatever has been taught.
Whatever has been taught, not whatever has been taught. Whatever has been taught and
Taught,
whatever has
taught.
been interpreted.
Yeah, taught.
Whatever has been taught, that's fine. Whatever mother teaches the child something good. But that doesn't end there. The child interprets it in a different way. Okay? And the interpretation is also thought. You understand? That interpretation happens maybe because at that time when the lesson was given, the child was hungry. That interpretation can become negative. The good thought that we were given to the child can be interpreted in a very different way. And that is because of the noise that's happening in the child's mind. Okay? Now, how do I, in all this noise, if I close my eyes, I get thousands of thoughts. How do I navigate through all of them? Because they are hindering my decision making. They are they're stealing my present peace, my present opportunity, my present possibility. Okay? And these ideas, these programs, they become deep beliefs which will operate in you throughout your life. Okay? Now, don't underestimate the society child. That child which was born when you were 3 years old or 4 years old has been dictating or operating your life till now. Your present thinking is because of your past programs. Do you understand that? Your present thinking is because of the past programs that were embedded in you. Okay? If you are fortunate enough to have got the right programs, then there's no problem. But most of the time, the programs are distorting. Okay? The programs are noise. They create noise. Now, how do I become free from these programs? Is there a right program? Is there the right way to think? Has somebody solved this problem? Yes. And that is the entire system of Sanatana Dharma, wherein the first program that is given to you, which is not given anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, the program given to you is you are a sinner. The program given to you in India, in Sanatana Dharma, is Amritasya Putraha. You are the divine child. Okay? And then the program, there was an education in India, which is the Vedic education system, where the child which is born, it goes through various processes of always staying in tune with this reality that I am divine. Okay? And it goes through an education process in the Gurukul. What is taught in the Gurukul? Along with various subjects, mathematics, science, sports, music, art, along with all these subjects, there is a significant importance given to the teaching of Brahma Vidya, which is all about your true nature, so that the child can always be free from programs. Or practically, it's an ecosystem where wrong programs cannot enter. Okay, imagine there's a young child. You bring the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita at that young age. Now, what it does, What is the significance of that education? I'll give a real life example. A few years ago, this was I think a decade ago, a little more than that. There was a very popular, high achieving Indian who was from the biggest college, IIT, and then honors and PhD and stuff. And he had gone to the West, got a very big job in the US, had a family, children. Then there was a market collapse sometime in the 2000s. Okay. .com bust. He lost his job at that time. He came back home. He got a gun. He shot his wife. He shot his 2 children. And he shot himself. A bright mind, super intelligent, high achiever, very successful. The first exposure to failure, and he collapses. He doesn't know how to handle failure. Okay? There is no pathway, there's no vision of how to handle the situation in life. And that is the precise reason why Bhagavad Gita is set in the context of war. Okay? It is acknowledging the fact that you're always in such an ecosystem. Around you, there's always disturbance, noise of some sort. And in that situation, you can become successful. In the worst of the worst situation, you can rise up and lead yourself and maybe possibly others, provided you find the light within. And what is that light within? It is the knowledge of yourself. And the knowledge of yourself is called Atma Jnana, of who I am. And the realization that I am not the biological child, because the biological child is gone. It keeps changing. But I'm still there. Okay? How can I be something so changing? Am I the society child? No, that is just a set of programs. My real nature is I'm the divine child. And the intelligence that created me constantly operates through me. And that is the intelligence that's not only operating through me, it's operating the entire existence. And that is my heritage. That is my ancestry. That is my root. And that is my inheritance also. So is there a way I can take back my inheritance, which is bliss and peace? And yes, the way is to study and understand the Bhagavad Gita. Any doubts so far? So is the society child still there with you? What are the levels of inception that have happened? So all of you watch the Inception movie, homework before the next session. So you understand that what you think you're thinking, what you think is your thought is not actually your thought. It is coming in your voice, but it is not your thought. Your father is speaking in your voice. Your mother is speaking in your voice. Your teacher is speaking in your voice. Your first grade friend is speaking in your voice. So many memories that you've forgotten, buried, of people who you interacted with. The people who liked you, people who didn't like you. Okay? Somebody told you as a child, oh, you're the most beautiful child, boy, girl in the world. Then you went into the world. And the world told you are so ugly. Then the child got confused. There are 2 programs coming. One program is telling I am very beautiful. One program is telling I am ugly. The conflict started. And the child doesn't know how to decide. Because, first of all, the child doesn't understand both these programs are false. Because both these programs are told about the face, which is not going to be there in another few years. Or both these programs are told by another program, which has a program that white face is beautiful, black face is ugly. Okay? Whatever input you got was a distorted input from another person who had a program from somewhere else. So to trace back the root program itself is so difficult. Okay, now you see the thoughts that you get. How many of those thoughts are your thoughts? How many of your desires are your desires? How many of your emotions are your emotions? Most of the time, in some situation, that somebody you bump into somebody in the road or meet with an accident, if you observe people, they are only behaving like how they're supposed to behave in that situation. Okay, this is how somebody should be when they're angry. That's how I'm going to be. There is no gap to even think whether that's the right thing to do or not. So you're operated by when you're operated by programs, how do I know if I'm operated by program is you're in a constant reactive mode. Okay, somebody says something, does something, immediately you have a counter. Okay, that immediate counter is implying lack of present intelligence, lack of freedom. That is what is mukti. Mukti means freedom from this program. When you become free, so Arjuna has a program. What program Arjuna has? These are all my relatives. I cannot kill my relatives. I'll go deeper into what is the context of Arjuna and what is his problem. Just to give a quick overview, his problem is, I want to become spiritual. I'm not going to fight the war because killing all my relatives, I'll go to hell. It's the worst thing I can do. I'm going to run away and I'm going to become spiritual. The message of Krishna is, spirituality lies in you taking up your arms and killing these people, because that is what is dharma. Okay, what answer Krishna gave, I'll expand. But what Arjuna thinks of what is spiritual, what is relative, Arjuna is now just a bundle of programs. And who is Sri Krishna? Does Sri Krishna have programs? Who is Sri Krishna?
Shiva Shakti.
Who is Sri Krishna?
Divine.
Sri Krishna, Manish, you're telling something?
Yeah, I said divine, like divine master.
Divine master. So Sri Krishna, so Krishna, there's a multi-answer. There are three Krishnas, like how there are three yous. Divine child, biological child, society. There are three yous, right? In the same way, there are three Krishnas. There is a Adi Bhautika Krishna, meaning a physical Krishna who lived 5,000 years ago, who was born in a certain place, who had a physical body, whose life was chronicled in the Mahabharata. Okay? That was a historical person, character. That is called Adi Bhautika Krishna. Now, where is that Adi Bhautika Krishna? Now he's not there anymore. Okay, that Adi Bhautika Krishna, it doesn't exist anymore. Then there is a Adi Daivika Krishna and Adhyatmika Krishna. Okay, what is Adi Daivika Krishna is? The first is physiological Krishna, physical Krishna. The second is the cosmic intelligence. I told you, no? There's a cosmic intelligence, Shiva and Shakti, who is taking care of everything that's happening in your life. It's an intelligence. Now that intelligence is also known as Vishnu. Vishnu means the one who takes care of the whole existence. Think of it as supreme intelligence. It takes intelligence for your body to operate. It takes intelligence for gravitational force to operate. It takes intelligence to maintain the order in the galaxy and the universe. It's not arbitrary, right? You will never, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., the sun doesn't rise. It will never happen. Sun will always rise because an intelligence is operating it. Okay? The apple falls, it doesn't go up, it comes down because an intelligence is operating it. It's gravitational force. So the intelligence operates the entire universe. That intelligence is called Vishnu. Now that intelligence also takes a human form. When it takes a human form, it is called an avatar. And that is what Sri Krishna is. So Sri Krishna is the embodiment of that supreme intelligence. Rather, that supreme intelligence decided to embody for whatever reason. For what reason? That also the supreme intelligence addresses. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Why will the supreme intelligence take a birth? It will take a birth when it decides it needs to intervene to establish dharma. Okay, what is dharma? That action which will result in the benefit of the whole world. Okay, to destroy adharma and to establish dharma. So during the Mahabharata, there were two avatars. We only know Krishna avatar popularly. And Krishna avatar is for the purpose of dharma samstapana. So Krishna tells dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come again and again to establish dharma. That is one work. There was another avatar at the same time as Krishna. And that was Vyasa Maharshi. That was Veda Vyasa Maharshi, who is called a Jnana avatar. So what Krishna did was at a political level. He destroyed the corrupt rulers. What Veda Vyasa Maharshi did was, Veda Vyasa Maharshi had a foresight, had an intelligence to see that this country will go through a lot of destruction and war. And this teaching of you are that, this teaching of Veda, this teaching of Upanishad needs to be preserved. So he codified the Vedas, he wrote the Puranas, he wrote the Mahabharata, okay? He created a system of education with which, like how in a system of education like IIT or MIT or Harvard, it's an ecosystem which constantly produces maybe the high achievers, right? It's an ecosystem where entrepreneurship is encouraged, innovation is encouraged, right? All the support is given. So there's a more possibility of a high achiever coming out of this ecosystem. In the same way, Vedavyasa Maharshi created an ecosystem. The ecosystem which will enable enlightened beings to come out, rishis to come out, masters to come out. And that ecosystem is called the ecosystem of Vedanta, which which has in it the Vedas, the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Puranas, and all the stories that we have heard. All of that we owe it to Vedavyasa Maharshi. So Vedavyasa Maharshi is Jnana avatar, Sri Krishna is Dharma avatar. Okay? And Sri Krishna Paramatma, so this is the second Sri Krishna, Adi Daivika Krishna. The third Krishna is what is the most relevant to us. The third Krishna is Adhyatmika Krishna, which is spiritual Krishna, which is my inner self. Okay? Where is first Krishna? First Krishna is gone. He was there in some part of the country some time ago. He was in time and space. Where is Adi Daivika Krishna? It is everywhere. Okay? It is the intelligence operating and encompassing everything. Where is spiritual Krishna? In my heart. So Krishna tells, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridde Arjuna Tishtati. The Lord is in the heart of all beings. Okay? You are that spiritual Krishna, the divine child. That's why Krishna is illustrated by artists as a baby. He's a baby sleeping on a leaf with sucking his toe. His toe is in his mouth. Okay? Have you seen that illustration? Krishna, baby Krishna. So that Krishna is nothing but your own self, your own inner self. That is the divine child. Okay? And that's why in the story of Krishna, that child, as soon as it's born, it's supposed to be killed. Okay, where's the child born? The child born is in the prison. The divine child, you are the divine child, you're born in the prison. What prison? Krishna was born in an actual prison. You were also born in the prison. You think you were born free. You were also born in the prison. Which prison? The prison of Inception. The prison of programs. The prison of beliefs. The prison where the first teaching that was given to you is you are this body. When you're not. You are boundaryless. You are the boundaryless, abundant, blissful, pure self. Okay? Which you've forgotten. Now, how do I realize my own nature? Is by the teachings of this Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, two characters are there. So if you see any Bhagavad Gita book, you'll see this picture where there's a chariot and there's Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna represents the person who's overpowered by the society child. Krishna, Sri Krishna represents the Guru who has become free from all programs. So Guru is supposed to be Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Guru is somebody who's no longer bound by the programs. He or she is now program free. He or she has realized who they are. And in this case, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad means Bhagavan. Now, who is this Bhagavan? Bhagavan means the supreme intelligence, the creator, the Lord, the supreme reality is speaking. So it is not a speech, it is not a dialogue, it is not a teaching given by the human mind. Okay? So there's a difference between a teaching given by the human mind and teaching given by the no mind. So the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Vedas, they're all from the no mind. They're not from the mind. They're from the no mind to the mind. Okay? But they're not, the source is not the mind. Because what is the mind? It is a society child. Okay, it is not the society child speaking. Meaning there is no hidden agenda. There is no corruption. There's no distortion. It is the purest communication of the absolute truth. And that is why it purifies, it uplifts, and it liberates. It is not corrupted by the human mind. It cannot be also. So you cannot go and change any of the verses of the Gita also. Because you can make out what is coming from a human mind and what is coming from a divine mind. Whatever comes from a divine mind is timeless. It was applicable to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. It's applicable to us now also. It will be applicable another 10,000 years later as well. It is not for this kind of a person or this geography or this time and this space. It has no such constraints. It is a teaching for all human beings to realize their inner nature of peace and bliss and understand how from the peace and bliss, what to do in the world. And that's why every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita ends with this verse. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. That means, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu. Thus spoke the Lord. Upanishatsu, which is a Upanishad, which is the highest teaching, which is Brahma Vidya. What is this Vidya? Why is the Lord telling it? For you to realize who you are, for you to realize Brahman. Yoga Shastra. Okay, is it just theory? Do I just realize? Then what happens? It is also Yoga Shastra. What is Yoga Shastra? It gives clarity on how you should act in the world, operate in the world in the best possible way to become successful. Okay? Yoga Shastra, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. And what is all of this? It's just a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Okay? And that is what is the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita is part of those 700 shlokas are the part of the Mahabharata which Vedavyasa wrote, which is over probably over 100,000 shlokas. And the Mahabharata is also called the fourth Veda. It has another name. The Mahabharata has another name called Jaya. Jaya means victory. Okay, the understanding, and it is chronicled as Itihasa, meaning history. It is written and it is documented so that you learn from history. Which in the case of, I told you, Prithviraj Chauhan, he didn't learn. Okay? Because he's not a student of Bhagavad Gita. So the Gita brings the clarity of what is dharma, what is adharma. Because, why? Because you are a divine force. That means you have the ability to impact not only yourself, your life, but the life of others as well. Okay? And what operates you becomes important in that case. Think of it like an AI bot, AI robot. So in the future, somebody creates an AI robot. It is super powerful because it can access all data. In seconds, it can access everything. Now, what programs run in it matters a lot when it has the capability to destroy the whole world. Right? So one wrong program, if I write a line of code, destroy human beings, it'll execute it. Okay? Now that is not just an example of AI, that is what is your capability as well. And that is what we have seen in history. People creating wars, trauma, death, crime. All that is what? Somewhere wrong program is being executed. Okay? Now, what programs are there in you? You don't know. That is why even like when somebody loses their temper and they cool down, they don't know what, I don't know what I did. I don't know what came upon me. What came upon me is something that is so powerful that overrode my conscious mind. Now that is a dangerous situation to be in. Whereas there is something in you that can override your conscious thinking. Okay, or distort your conscious thinking, or constantly influence it and keep you a prisoner in some way. Is there a freedom from that? And that is the focus of the Bhagavad Gita, where you understand the teachings. You're listening to a teaching not by the human mind. So it's not another program. It is to become free from all programs. It is a dialogue to understand the message of the no mind, of the divine mind, of the Bhagwan, and realize my true nature. Any doubts? What is another thing about the program is, this is not the program of this lifetime. One lifetime's program itself can be so troublesome. We carry in us programs from many, 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 many lives. Okay? That's what Shankaracharya tells us. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Meaning, so you are in a certain place that you are born in. You're put in a certain place. Why you're put in a certain place is determined by the momentum of the program that was running before. Okay? So this life is a result of the previous life. Okay, the previous one is a result of the previous one. So it's an endless, it's an ocean of so many lives. And the programs of all those lives, it's called karma. Now, listening to the Gita, understanding the Gita, it burns this karma. It burns these programs. It annihilates or removes this programs and the result of the programs. So karma gives karma phala, which are the good something good happening to you, which is called punya, or something bad happening to you, which is called papa. So the gnana, the atma gnana, burns away both papa and punya and liberates you from this cycle of birth and death. That is the phala of atma gnana, which we get by the Gita Gnana Yagna or the Rishi Yagna. So the focus here is, please understand, this is a very significant difference in the approach of Sanatana Dharma and any other religions that we know as popularly as religions. First of all, Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. It is Sanatana Dharma. Okay, it is the order, or it is the timeless principle through which the world operates, existence operates. Religion is extracting something from that and applying it to some context. Okay. Now, popularly in many religions, the focus is the life after death, which is heaven. Okay. In the name of heaven, people are ready to kill people. Okay. You will go to heaven if you do this. That is not the focus here. The focus here is, I have to go back to my true nature of bliss. When I am blissful, where I am is heaven. Okay? If the child is blissful, you put the child in prison, you put the child in hell, anywhere, it will be blissful because of its inner nature. So if your inner nature is peace, love, and bliss, okay, the heaven and the hell are immaterial. No, you've gone beyond geographies. So, and that going beyond all geographies is called mukti. Mukti even from heaven and hell. The greatest gathering, the the gathering which calls the most number of people anywhere in the world is the gathering of Kumbh. Have you heard Kumbh Mela? It is the only gathering in the world from time immemorial which attracts the most number of people from the world. And what is the focus of that gathering? Moksha. Everybody is there because there's a drop of Amrita that fell. What is this Amrita? That Amrita is Veda Amrita, Brahma Amrita, the Gnana, this Gnana. Why people go there? Not to take, of course, to take a dip in the water, but because there's an opportunity that I can meet somebody who will give me the real Ganga, who will purify me by giving me the Gnana Ganga, Gita Ganga. Somebody will talk about Tattvamasi. Somebody will help me realize my true nature. Somebody will help me go back to my original innocence, original state of peace and bliss. Okay? So the motivation or direction given by Sanatana Dharma is moksha. So Sri Krishna Paramatma is giving moksha shastra. Whatever he tells liberates you. Even one shloka of the Gita, if you understand, liberates you. That is its power. And what happens after liberation? You realize the society child dies. It is the death of the society child. Okay? And the death of the society child is celebration. Okay? You go back to your nature of peace, unconditional peace. That's called Param Shanti. You experience peace during life. Of course, more than peace, war. If there's a 99% war constantly running, peace, you get glimpses of peace. Okay, and for this glimpse of peace, people do all sorts of things. Okay, watching movie. Why you watch movie? You forget yourself. You forget the society child at that time. Okay, you travel, go to a beautiful place. Why? You forget the society child at that time. All your effort, if you see, is to forget the society child. Okay, and when you forget your society child, you become peaceful. But the society child comes back again. It's like a ghost that never leaves you, like the Vikram Betal. You know, it's always on your back. How do you get rid of it? The only astra, okay, it's like weapon, no? Like there's a book called Harry Potter. In the Harry Potter, there's a villain. He cannot be ordinarily killed. To kill him, his life is put into so many objects. You have to destroy those objects. Okay? This they actually copied from our old Kartikeya story, where there's a king who had put his life into a bird. And you kill the bird, and the king dies, the evil king dies. So in the same way, the society child, it hides behind many layers. Now with the teaching, Krishna is penetrating all those layers, step by step. And that step-by-step process of penetrating the layers of the mind and annihilating the wrong notions is called Vedanta. Okay? So the teaching of Vedanta, which is why I told the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishad, and the Upanishad is teaching of Vedanta. Vedanta means the last portion of the Vedas. The end of Anta means end. Vedanta means end of knowledge, and all the knowledge is with the society child. Okay, and what kind of knowledge? All useless knowledge. You might have useful knowledge, and that useful knowledge you'll use that useful knowledge to make some money. But what is that money used for again? It is used for in some way, self-destruction. So is there a way I can realize myself, become free from this society child? That is what we'll go deeper into from the next session. In the next session, I'm going to start with the not the first chapter of the Gita, but the Dhyana shlokas. There are 9 Gita Dhyana shlokas which set the premise of what is the Bhagavad Gita. Some more context. We'll take that up. If possible, go through them, read through them. And in the next session, if somebody has insights to share on those shlokas, we'll start with those insights, what you have understood from them. And then we'll contemplate on those shlokas and go into the sequentially the upcoming chapters. Okay, so is the introduction clear? Yeah, so Manish asked the question, which book? So don't worry about the book. Only go by the transliteration or the translation. If you find the good commentaries that I have seen is a book called The Holy Gita by Swami Chinmananda, then the talks by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, the commentaries by Adi Shankaracharya. There is also a book written by Paramahamsa Yogananda on the Bhagavad Gita that is also beautiful. Yeah, so these are some of the, and any book that you find of from Ramakrishna Mission on the Bhagavad Gita is also good. So my approach here is, one, of course, whatever I received from my Sadguru, Narasimha Prabhu, and all these other resources, I'm trying to communicate all of this and my own understanding, putting all of them together and trying to stay as true as I can to the original teaching of the pure Jnana, direct path. Okay, my focus here, my interest is not to put another program. It is just to bring the message of the Vedanta and the Upanishad that Sri Krishna communicates as it is. Okay, and Krishna's focus is to bring moksha to Arjuna, okay, and to inspire him to perform his dharma. And that those actions of Arjuna will result in dharma samsthapanaya, meaning after the Mahabharata war, I told you it was a great war. It was actually real World War I, where over 40 lakh people died. People from many parts of the world. And this is including, this is excluding animals, horses and elephants. Okay, that was the amount of destruction. Now, that destruction, was it inevitable? So I told you the Mahabharata is a chronicling of human mind, right? The cause of the war was which child? Who was the cause of the war?
Duryodhan.
Society.
So the cause of the war was Duryodhan, but who caused it for Duryodhan is Draupadi. So one day, Duryodhan is invited to a magic mahal. Okay, it's a place of illusion. There, he slips and he falls. And Draupadi laughs at him. Okay, and she tells him, Ande ka beta andha. Blind king's son is blind. And those words, it scar Duryodhana. It just penetrates through his heart. So you've heard words like that in your life? From people that you respect, from people that you want to be respected. Whenever they speak, that's what Buddha told, the worst weapon is the tongue. Okay? You have to be very mindful of what you say. Something that you say can become a seed to something else. So all she said was, she laughed and she said, A blind king's son is blind. And this he was not able to digest. He was enraged. And he became so motivated to destroy the Pandavas. Okay? And there was the game of dice where the Kauravas win, and Draupadi gets disrobed. Okay, but still that doesn't satisfy him. He wants to destroy the Kauravas. All because of what? He is not able to remove that voice of her from his head. Simply meaning he's not at peace. His peace is disturbed. Okay. Now his peace is disturbed, one, because he doesn't know who he is. The approach should have been, when he falls, Draupadi also should have been, okay, fine, something happened. It's natural. If both of them had handled in a different, mature way, the outcome would be different. But society child spoke through Draupadi, society child reacted through Duryodhana. Then Sri Krishna goes. Sri Krishna, at that time, in the political system, there is a way to handle conflicts. So conflict is a part of life. There is no debating that. Anybody's life here is conflict free? Raise your hand. Conflict, life is nothing but a series of conflict. Conflict and life means they're synonymous. Okay? So life is only a series of conflict. And it's about resolving those conflicts in the best way possible. So at a political level, the conflict is resolved in 4 ways. Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda. The 4 approaches to resolving a conflict. Sama means an elegant way where you discuss and resolve it. You talk it out and you resolve it. Beda means, Dana means you give and take. Okay, so I bumped into your car, you bumped into my car, you take this much money, you give me this much money, or something. Some sort of exchange. Beda means you leverage the weakness of your enemy and you push that point. You use it like at a political game. There are 2 countries. Each country wants to look at the welfare of its own people. So you leverage, okay, we are doing this, probably this deal with you. We will give you some discount in that deal. Okay, or you really want, we are a country rich in rice or these goods, you will not get this anywhere in the world. You hold that power and you leverage that to get the outcome. Krishna tried everything. He tried Sama, he tried all approaches. Ultimately, he goes to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. He tells them, okay, don't give the kingdom to the Pandavas, just give us 5 villages. So Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra don't agree. When they don't agree, Krishna shows them the Vishwarupa Darshana. So there is something called as Vishwarupa Darshana in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna shows his cosmic form to Arjuna. But actually, that happened the second time. First time it was shown to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana during negotiation, where Krishna shows his Vishwarupa Darshana to Duryodhana. He tells, this is the amount of destruction that will happen. You all will die. This is what will happen if you continue with this path. And after seeing the Vishwarupa Darshana, Duryodhana laughs at Krishna. He tells, I know you're a magician, Krishna. You're showing me all these magic tricks. I'm not going to fall for this magic trick. Okay? So please understand, programs can be very, very deep-rooted. That even if God comes in front of you and shows you his cosmic form, you don't let go of your notions. So Duryodhana, he brushes it off. And then the war became inevitable. And then was the war. It's not like Krishna didn't try to stop the war. Everything possible was done. But Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana persisted. And Dhritarashtra all the more because he was blind. He was not only physical blind, he had a psychological blindness. When his children are doing something wrong, instead of correcting them, he is deluded by his what?
Prema.
Programs. My children. They're my children. Okay. Now think of it like a judge. Like a judge, his child has gone, haywire, breaking the law. When he's brought in front of the judge needs to perform his duty, free from the program that this is my son. Or a doctor, a world famous surgeon, who has never had a failure. Okay, all his operations are successful. The moment his child is bought or his parent is bought, his hands shiver. Okay, the program interferes that this is my child. Now, same thing happened to Arjuna. These are my relatives. Okay, in 1 second, he forgets all the wrong that has been done by them. How can I kill my relatives? How can I kill my teachers? My guru is standing, Dronacharya. How can I kill him? He's the one who taught me how to kill. Okay, but Krishna brings in the clarity. So people always, there's a lot of propaganda against the Gita that it's a book of war. In fact, many years ago in Russia, many missionaries had appealed to the court, telling that Bhagavad Gita is a book of war. Look at the picture on the cover image. It's a war field. Okay, it's propagating war. It's not propagating war. It is propagating. First of all, it's not propagating anything. It is simply giving the message of the Upanishads. That's why in the Dhyana Shloka that you will read Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopal Nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahate. Meaning, Krishna is like a cowherd boy and the Upanishad is like the cow. He's milking the cow and he's giving us the milk which is easily we can drink and digest as the Bhagavad Gita. It is a song. It is a song sung by Krishna. Which Krishna? All three Krishnas. It is a song of the universal mind. It is a song of supreme intelligence. And listening to this song, understanding this song, will liberate you. Will help you realize Tattvamasi. I am that. I am not what I think I am. I am not what society thinks I am. I am not what I think I am. I am that pure divine being. Any doubts? Was the introduction clear? Any doubts in the introduction? Vibha, any doubts?
No.
Manish?
Yep. No doubt.
So in the next session, we'll take up the Gita Gnana Yagna. Sorry, in the next chapters of the Gita. Nice start, but long way to go and understand. So long way to go and understand that Who's telling it? Which child is telling? So
Meta Guruji.
that is another thought from the society mind. So the society child has heard all these stories of all these saints and sages, all these people doing tapasya for 1,000 years, sitting in the Himalayas. Then they realize something. It has watched movies, okay, where God appears and he with the light and with the sound, and the Rishi is in the ant hill, right? It has read all these things. It has heard the story of Buddha who is sitting in under the tree, who's left his family, and it interprets. What does it interpret? Ah, God realization is super hard. Okay, God realization takes a lot of time. God realization is a long way to go. There is no way God realization is here and now, because it is a realization. It is not God becoming. It is a realization that you are already that. All you have to do is remove the society child.
So I understand how this thing plays. I mean, if I may share an instance from my life.
Yeah.
I don't have time to predict. So when I was a little girl, and I grew up in the Middle East. I'd come to India on vacation. I think I must have been maybe 4 or 5 years old, and my mother had given me a ring, which I was just playing in the rain, and the ring slipped off my finger, and it went into this nala, in my mamaji's house. There was this terrace, and there was this drain.
Yeah.
Like the mouse hole in Tom and Jerry, that kind of a drain. And I absentmindedly put water into it, and in front of my eyes, it just went into the drain.
Sure.
So the previous day, I had seen a movie. I don't remember the name of the movie. I think it was Sulochana or something. And in that, Hanumanji tells Sita that, don't worry. He gives her the ring of Ram and says, don't worry. If you have any problem, just say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Yeah.
And it'll be all fine.
Sure.
So in my impressionable mind, I thought that, I just have to say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So I just, closed my eyes, and I went to the other room, which had the mandir in the home. And I said, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And I came back expecting that my ring is going to be back there. And it was. And I had many such things when I was a little girl, until people started telling me, how is that possible? No. Maybe the ring did not go down the drain. I said, come on, it happened in front of my eyes. And then when people start conditioning you, no, this can't happen. This is supposed to be a miracle. Miracles don't happen in life.
Yeah.
So even though I had a lot of such miracles, and slowly and steadily, I think the frequency of those miracles reduced.
Yeah.
Because somewhere I started believing that they were supposed to be few and far between, and they couldn't happen just because I said Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Good that you brought up the point of miracles as well, Vibha. So another disclaimer that I want to give about Yagna, Rishi Yagna in general is, or the direct path is, so in the direct path, I told you, is the path of direct inquiry into who I am and realizing that I am that. Okay? Tattvamasi. Indirect path is the path of bhakti, path of yoga, and various other paths. And the whole constitute or the premise of the indirect path is experience. Meaning, your mind in general is always after experiences. Okay, from one experience to another experience. So in that seeking of experience, the mind also seeks a spiritual experience. Maybe I need to see some light. Maybe I need to see some experience expansion, infinity. A lot of spiritual experiences the mind anticipates because of its understanding of what is spirituality. Okay. The direct path is a path of no experience. Because all experiences belong to the mind, belong to the society child. The only experience you'll be left with through the process of Rishi Yagna is deep peace, which is not experience, which is the absence of experience. When all experiences are absent, what remains is Param Shanti. And this peace, right, it cannot be explained in words. It is the touching your own deepest self. The closest example I can give to that is your deep sleep. In your deep sleep, in the absence of all experiences, because there is no body, there is no dream, there is no world, there is no thought, there is no desire, right? In the absence of everything experiential, what remains? A deepest peace remains. And that deep peace is called Bhagwan. So in that sense, you experience Bhagwan, but it's not an experience. It is a recognition of your nature. So self-realization or God realization is a recognition of my nature as peace and bliss and love. Now, what happens if I recognize my nature? I no longer crave for peace, love, or bliss.
Experiences or anything, yeah.
I no longer crave for any experience. Rather, I start overflowing with them. That is why people go to masters. So, guru, right? So, you've heard of many gurus and saints and masters. For example, Buddha. People go in their presence because he or she is overflowing with peace, overflowing with love, and overflowing with wisdom and bliss. Just by being in the presence of a realized master, you experience bliss. And that process is called Upanishad. Is it clear about experiences, everybody? Smita? So experiences take time.
Yes, yes.
But realization doesn't take time.
Yes.
Because
Very
realization
first.
is what you are right now.
Yes.
Kavin, is it clear?
Yes, Guruji.
So Bhagavad Gita is not a sadhana shastra. It is a Brahma Shastra. It's a Brahma Vidya. There are 3 texts put together and they're called the powerhouse, or in Sanskrit it's called Prashtanatraya. Prashtanatraya means 3 canons. They're like a canon. What are the 3 canons? Brahma Sutra, Upanishad, and Bhagavad Gita. So what you are going to embark upon is the journey of Prashtanatraya, which will destroy your ignorance, which is basically the society child. Okay, so we're on time. Is everybody okay to do a 5-minute meditation?
Yes.
So the first, yeah, any doubt? Somebody asked something? Okay. So in today's meditation, so what is meditation? Meditation is real meditation, according to Vedanta, is simply not doing anything. Because any action is always done by society child. Okay? Just not do, just be and watch. Because your nature is Krishna. And what is Krishna? Krishna is, I told you, Adi Bhautika is the physical Krishna. Adi Daivika is Bhagavan Krishna. Adhyatmika is my inner self, Atma Krishna. Now, Atma Krishna is Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. So let us be Atma Krishna, meaning just a pure witness. So we'll close our eyes and just witness, watch your breath. Okay? Focus on the breath, you watch the breath. As you watch your breath, the society mind starts speaking. Okay? It starts speaking, creating thoughts, imaginations, ideas, desire, okay, feeling to open the eyes. Whatever it throws, just watch. Don't react to it. Don't say this is wrong, this is right. Just be a witness. Is the process clear? So real meditation means just to be a witness, Sakshi. And that Sakshi is what is Krishna. Krishna handles all different problems in life, conflicts in Mahabharata. Okay, and he does it smiling because he's a witness. He does not react to anything. He takes the right action, but he does not react. There's a difference. Okay? Is the process clear? Any doubts in the instruction? All you have to do is close your eyes, watch your breath, and watch thoughts that appear. Okay? Just witness it. You can say, I have nothing to do with these thoughts. I am not these thoughts. Okay? Let us do this for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Just remain as a pure witness to your breath, thought, sensation, feelings, and ideas. Just watch. Let us close with a prayer. Tvameva Mata, Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha, Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya, Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva, Kayena Vacha, Manasendriyaiva, Buddhyatmanabha, Prakrite Swabhava, Karomi Yadyad, Sakalam Parasmai, Narayanaeti. Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta, Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes. So everybody recognize the society child. You could hear the society child speaking. How long can you sit silently for? Can you sit like 10 seconds? How many made more than 10 seconds?
No.
10 seconds. You did 10 seconds? Now that noise, and how much is that? That is, you're getting what, for a minute, more than 100 thoughts. For a day, more than 1,00,000 thoughts. 99.9% of which is useless to your life. Right? That means that is what is happening when you're interacting with the world and stealing away your precious opportunity, decision making, peace. Okay? And then again it comes back as regret. Oh, I didn't do that. And it's a vicious cycle. Or if you did something, oh, I did that. I should not have done that. Okay? So that problem will not be solved, no matter what. until you realize who you are. That is the significance of, and that is what is spirituality. So there are a lot of notions to spirituality. It is this, it is that. Spirituality means to realize who I am and become peaceful unconditionally, infinitely. If that is not happening, then you're in some other game. You're not in spirituality. Okay? If something is making you more egoistic, more thoughts, more desire, more anxiety, more stress. Oh, that person is meditating for so much time, not okay, that person is accomplished so much. He's doing japa so much. He goes to temple. She goes to temple. They do so much. I don't do. Then again, it's not. It's the same game, but in a different dress. Okay, so we'll close for the day. Any other doubts, questions? Shall we close? Next class, we'll take up Gita Dhyana Shlokas, 9 shlokas. I'll try to find a PDF of that and post it on the group. You can also watch it, read it. If it's possible, watch the movie Inception and figure out what all society has dumped inside your subconscious mind. Okay. Deepa, who's Deepa? You're joining from India?
Yeah, no.
Okay, you're from Reading?
Reading, yeah.
Okay.
UK, Reading.
UK. Megha ji? Megha is from India? Okay.
I'm from Reading, UK.
UK. Seema? Okay. Okay, so I hope the
I
introduction.
am from UK, Seema.
Okay. Okay, so nice to all the people who are meeting for the first time. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah.
By the time we complete the sessions, hopefully you will not remain. Krishna alone will remain. That is the approach. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Hari Om.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Hari Om Krishna.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om.